Welcome back. Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And first, I want to say thanks to New York John D on Instagram, who graciously loaned me this knife for review. He's loaned me other knives for review, and I can't thank him enough. We got some awesome people in this community. So go check him out on Instagram. If you're not already following him, go give him a follow. The knife we have in front of you is one that has been on my radar for quite some time now, and that is the Benchmade 570 Presidio 2. This knife comes in right around $175 at Blade HQ, and this is part of their black box, black class of knives, which are their tactical series for like law enforcement, military, first responders, those type of people. And that's something that I had to keep in mind whenever I was gaining my thoughts and opinions on this knife, because at first I was reviewing it as an EDC knife, and even though you could definitely EDC this knife, this is not what I personally EDC. This is something that I would carry on occasion, especially when I needed a harder use knife, because it definitely fits that bill to a T. So if you don't feel like watching to the end, I will say if you like this knife, you don't mind a heavier use, and that's what you're looking for, this knife is definitely recommended. So what do we have here? Start off with this absolutely gorgeous spear point blade that has their blasted satin finish with like a mild stone wash, I guess you could say. And on the primary grinds and on the flats, you got their belt satin. And on this side, you can see you have the cool Benchmade butterfly logo with the model number 570 right there. You have the standard Benchmade thumb studs that work just fine. You have a about 3/4 of the way up the blade flat grind that comes down to decent thinness. And I will say, after all the testing I've done, this thing performed outstanding. You have a nice attractive top swedge that goes about 3/4 of the length of the blade that thins it out to the tip, so you have a nice tip for piercing, but not too thin that you'll have a delicate tip. I will say, through my testing, with the testing I do with cardboard, then I go to the 2x4s for ergos, and just to see how well it slices into wood. I go to some zip ties, a little bit of plastic, and some sisal rope and some nylon rope, and this thing performed great. The finish held up pretty well. All you have is some minor smudging. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to even pick up. Just some minor smudging on the blade, and from all the testing, I don't think that's any issue whatsoever. Also, while we're looking at the blade, they did a great job of adding a sharpening choil that, as you can see, the bevel is consistent throughout. So they did do a good job. Like I said, I took this knife, I tested it till it was completely dull, and I couldn't send the knife back to my buddy dull, so I threw a wicked edge on here, and boy, that S30V takes a beautiful polish, and the bevels were absolutely consistent on both sides. Love to see that, because Benchmade sometimes struggles in that department. Real quick, let's see. I haven't stropped this knife, but it should be still razor sharp. Let's see. This is the thinnest paper I have. Woohoo! You hear that? You might not hear it because there's hardly any resistance whatsoever. Let's see if it'll still push cut. Oh yeah, push cuts like a charm. And like I said, I haven't even touched this up on the strop yet. Let's get that again. Look at that. Boy, that's nice and sharp. So I hope you enjoy that, John. The least I can do for you, buddy. On this side, all you see is the blade steel designation of CPM S30V steel. Had no issues with chipping, because I know that S30V gets the rap of it's a little chippy. Did not notice that here. I didn't bang it up against anything hard, and I was cautious of the way I use the knife, because this is a loaner, not one. It's not my own, so I do take care of my loaners. Let's go back to the handle. You have aircraft grade aluminum that has, I think it's like a parketized anode, black anode, subdued look for your tactical type. And also your blade is non-reflective, so that adds another perspective for the tacticalness of this knife. You have you got a good bit of screws on here. You have some nice hourglass standoffs that are also black, and you have a nice stainless, thick, beefy stainless liners that are blackened as well. And let's see if I can show this. These are super heavily skeletonized. See those holes in there? I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but they're both, as much as they possibly can, they skeletonize this, which is awesome. And when I was cutting, I noticed in this grip was very nice. I put my finger right up in here, and I'm glad they didn't bring this swedge all the way back, because you have a nice spot for your thumb to land on, and worked like a charm. And the hammer grip, super comfortable. As you can see, there's no crazy choils or anything on this handle. It's fairly, straight across, which usually lends itself to good ergonomics. You can flip it around this way, just as comfortable. And here, it's very comfortable. As you can see, you have this little curve for your thumb to rest. Absolutely comfortable. Being this is a tactical knife, you want to make sure it's not going anywhere. The texture that they have on the aluminum adds a good bit of traction. My hands got sweaty. I didn't notice it slipping in any way. Then you have the two guards of the ramps right here that comes up with some nice jimping right here. That is definitely functional. It bites into the thumb. It doesn't hurt whatsoever. And underneath here you have jimping, so this knife is not going anywhere. If you had to do a thrust or something like that to pierce something, it's not going anywhere. No, at any time that I feel like I was going to lose traction to this knife. It is a little thick here, but that's just because it's a beefy knife. You can see, look how big. That's one huge stop pin. Let's see, get you a better look at that right there. That is a massive stop pin. This knife reminds me of the Benchmade Adamus. That's a super proven hard use knife, and I think this knife would be able to handle a good bit of stuff, but you do have to be careful, being that it is S30V. But with Benchmade's warranty, I'd say do what you want with it. Let's get a few size comparisons of this one, and some knives that I would say are good competitors to the Presidio. Another Benchmade that is close in realms of this is the Benchmade Rift. This is an older model, an older Osborne design. Let's see, the number on this one is the 950 Rift. And as you can see, it's a good bit smaller than the Presidio. The Presidio is definitely not a small knife. I didn't give y'all any dimensions or specs just because this is not a brand new knife. You can look it up on the website if you're interested. This is 8 3/4 inches overall. Another one that I would say, in this hard use tactical, got your Spyderco Manix 2. And there you go. You can see the Manix 2 is a good bit smaller. And these are pretty much in the same price category as the Presidio. One that, not really so much a tactical knife, more so a hunting knife, but is pretty close in size. That is the Cold Steel Ultimate Hunter. It's a little bit smaller, but closer in size than the other two. And another hard use knife that is as close as I have as far as size is a discontinued Spyderco. That is a Spyderco Tough. And it's just a tad bit longer than the Presidio, but definitely in the same realm of, toughness. Let's see, what else do I have to compare? Also got my Strider S&G, another tactical knife, but this is, you're running in the close to your $500 price point, like your $435-ish or so, and you got more blade length on this guy. You know, they're kind of hard to compare, but if you don't want to spend the money on this guy, you know, this is a great option right here. And one more last one that's another hard use, I guess you call it tactical, is your DPX gear Hest. And it's quite smaller, dwarfs the Hest. So there you go. I got a review coming up on this one pretty soon. So there's your size comparisons and some other knives that are in that same realm. Flip over on this side, you can see you got a deep carry pocket clip. This is not my favorite pocket clip just because it's like a painted clip and it shows wear pretty easily. I was kind of careful because I didn't want to send his knife back with dings up all over the clip. If I would have got him another one, being that you can easily get them in from Benchmade. I like how they did this. As you can see right here, at first I thought this would be a pocket shredder with these milled lines, but they also noticed that. So on both sides, being that it's tip up, left or right hand carry, you can see this spot right there. That's so your pocket doesn't get caught up in there. They did a great job. It's also in, I can't really show it, but it's on this side as well. It goes in and out of the pocket very nicely. You got a very big lanyard hole right there. Easy fit 550 paracord. I didn't make any adjustments on this knife whatsoever, and it's pretty close to dead centered. Hold on, hey Bella, can you get him off the couch so he doesn't bark? Smoothness on this guy is really nice. It fires out there, and I'm sure if I took it apart I could make it super drop shut, but not my knife, so I'll leave it alone. So let's wrap it up. I think, you know, even though, you know, it's not going to be one that I'm going to buy just because I got beat up hands, and whenever I grip this knife really hard, it's not super comfortable for me, but I can promise you I put it in a few of my neighbors' hands. They had no issues whatsoever with it. So don't take that into consideration. And the weight on this guy, like I said, is built for hard use. And that's another reason why, you know, I can't rule this knife out completely. 6.24 ounces, which is not bad for as stout of a knife this is. But the weight and the texture are something that's kind of holding me back personally, because, you know, there's so many options out there. You know, you don't have to settle anymore. We have way too many options. Me and another Instagram were talking about it. We have too many options now. So your choices are not as hard, because if you don't like a certain knife, say you don't like this one, you can go find something that looks kind of similar to this from a different company nowadays. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Like I said, if you were on the fence about this, I'd say definitely jump on it. I mean, just look. God, that's a beautiful blade. And it gets wicked sharp. Put a nice polished edge on there, and it's going to stay sharp for a while. I'm sure all he should have to do is strop it up every now and again, and it should be fine. Boy, oh boy. It was a fun one to sharpen because I didn't have to fix bevels or... You know, I had a flat right here that I was able to put in my wicked edge, so I didn't have to worry about doing anything to make it sit straight. Ergo's good. The performance was good. It's about 25 thousandths behind the edge at the thinnest point, which that in my eyes is a perfect in the middle. You know, you still get pretty good performance out of it, and you have enough thickness behind that edge that you shouldn't have to worry about using it pretty tough. So I'll wrap it up at that. Hope everybody's having a great day. Please like and subscribe. Share it to all your friends and family and all your social media networks. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.